Garcelle should have known better when it came to Sutton's mom. I'm just catching up on the episodes and watching this one with Sutton's mom. I was literally screaming at Garcelle through the TV. The moment she was invited to visit Sutton's home, she should have been on high alert. I'm telling you, I would have bet every cent I own that she'd show up to a mini plantation house, and Sutton's mom would act like Garcelle had just ruined everything by simply existing there. Sure, she was trying to show some class by bringing a gift, but after RHOBH practically turned her nose up at it, I just wanted Garcelle to cut her losses and move on. The moment RHOBH touched that gift with all the disdain in the world, I would have smiled, said nothing, and mentally checked out. "It's above me now" would have been my new mantra. And then the little jabs, the drooling over Kyle. At that point, I just wanted Garcelle to stop trying so hard with RHOBH. It wasn't worth it. RHOBH wasn't going to give her anything but cold vibes and petty comments. The moment she called Kyle pretty in front of Garcelle and gave her nothing in return, I knew this trip was going to be uncomfortable for Garcelle. It was like watching a masterclass in how Black people can be polite, kind, and still get treated like they're invisible by racist people. Just wow. Oh, absolutely. Let's just get rid of Sutton and keep Jennifer. I mean, I used to like her, but after that whole gun to the head comment, yeah, I'm just not vibing with her anymore. The only thing Sutton really contributed to the show was Jennifer Tilly, honestly. Can we get more of her and less of Sutton? And then there's Jennifer. Can we talk about her for a second? She's 10 times more interesting than Sutton ever was. Seriously, why is she just a friend? She deserves a full-time spot. Let's swap Sutton out and put Jennifer in her place, please. Also, can we, for the love of all things reality TV, stop trying to fire Housewives every time they say or do something we don't like? I'm looking at you, Dorit haters. The Sutton-Dorit drama is gold. It's literally one of the best things to happen to the show in years. I'm all for keeping them both around, so let's stop demanding to fire the entire cast. You can hate them all you want, but let's admit they're giving us the drama we live for. Keep them on our screens, please. Dorit is the textbook definition of a blind victim. She starts off by throwing shady comments, offending people, and being downright disrespectful. Then, when she gets a reaction, it's like she's suddenly suffering from amnesia, acting like the reaction came out of nowhere. She has zero self-awareness, completely blind to her role in stirring the pot, and somehow spins the situation to make herself the victim. It's almost impressive how she can still see herself as innocent, even after making low blows like, "She can talk to me when she balances her meds." Denise nailed it when she said that Dorit has this habit of pointing out random things about you as soon as the cameras are rolling. It's like she's trying to make you feel self-conscious on purpose. What's going on with your hair? Or you've got something on your shirt. So when Dorit casually mentions someone's coat being upside down, that's what Denise thought was going on, except, surprise, Dorit was actually right. But Denise wasn't buying it. Stop, I know what you're doing. And honestly, now I see it too. But Sutton falls for it every time. Hook, line, and sinker. I've definitely had people like this in my life. They push and push, get you to the breaking point, and then when you finally snap, suddenly you're the crazy one. Of course, I needed to work on myself too, which I have, but it's honestly disgusting how Dorit has absolutely no self-awareness. I can only imagine what PK has to put up with behind closed doors. Oh, people are really upset about Dorit's alcohol comment. Seriously, have they ever watched The Real Housewives? Because this is nothing compared to the usual drama we get. Women on these shows have thrown out accusations of drug use, alcoholism, and a whole bunch of other crazy stuff. Dorit suggesting Sutton might have a drinking problem is like a blip on the radar of shady remarks. I honestly don't get why anyone's making it a big deal. It's classic Housewives shade. What else is new? And then we've got Sutton's wallet comment. Please, it's not funny, it's not cute, it's just tacky and desperate. let's be real here. As for those losing their minds over Sutton's comment like it actually crossed some kind of line, am I watching the same show? But my real issue with Dorit's jab isn't the jab itself. It's the whole act of playing innocent, like she's just so unaware of what she said. The gaslighting, yeah, that part is getting old. Why I think Erica and Dorit don't like Sutton, my theory. All right, here's my take. In the elite world of the rich and fabulous, there's a hierarchy when it comes to wives. First wives, second wives, and of course, the ex-wives. Now, Dorit and Erica spent a good chunk of time being the new wives. I'm calling them second wives, even though Tom's had more than two. And they had this delightful assumption that when they left their marriages, they'd walk away with money, property, and all the stuff that comes with being fabulous. They probably looked down on the ex-wife types like Sutton thinking, oh, they lost the money maker and have to figure it out all on their own. But now they're in the same ex-wife club, except, surprise, it's not exactly how they envisioned it. They don't have the cash or property they thought they'd get. And here's the kicker, Sutton is doing better than them. She's thriving, financially and personally, in a way they never expected. They're mad about it, because, let's be real, they should have all the money and alimony. I mean, they're younger, prettier, and know how to have a good time, right? So why don't they have it all? That was sarcasm, in case you missed it. They're bitter that they spent all this time working to stay married, only to end up in the same position as the people they used to look down on, except now, they're in a much worse spot because their ex-husbands ran out of money. So much for those paychecks. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? Now, with Dorit, sure, that might be part of it. But from what we've seen, they've never really been close anyway. As for Erica, I think the resentment is deeper. Sutton didn't let her off the hook when everything in Erica's world was falling apart. Sutton held her feet to the fire, and Erica clearly didn't love that. Plus, let's be real, Sutton isn't the easiest person to be around. I'm not saying the treatment Sutton's gotten has been justified, but sometimes people just don't mesh well with others' character traits, And let's not forget, both Erica and Dorit were married to absolute grifters who couldn't even bother to leave them with a nice parting gift. The classic did production cross the line? Debate, always fun to revisit. Let's break it down, shall we? So, we've all witnessed the latest showdown between Dorit and Sutton, right? These two are hardly besties, but this week's drama, well, it feels a little coached, if you ask me. Sutton claims production told her to interrupt Dorit while she was having a heart-to-heart about her kid during that beach house visit. If that's true, then production really did her dirty. Why not have someone else do the interrupting if it was absolutely necessary? Instead, they throw Sutton into the line of fire. Genius. And now there's this little tidbit. Sutton apparently showed up early to Dorit's 4th of July BBQ because, surprise, surprise, production told her to. Meanwhile, all the other ladies rolled in later. Sounds like a subtle little nudge to get the drama going, don't you think? Got away with it way too easily. At the end of the day, whether you're Team Dorit or Team Sutton, it's hard to ignore if production's just pouring gasoline on the flames to keep the drama burning for TV's sake. I mean, sure, we all love a bit of chaos, but this one feels like it crossed a line. Now, maybe this level of manipulation is par for the course in other Housewives franchises. But coming from someone who's only watched RHOBH and RHOBH, this feels like too much, and honestly, I don't see how these two can come back from this. It's almost like watching a train wreck in slow motion. You can't look away, but you know it's going to end badly. So, let me get this straight. Sutton shows up at a 4th of July party, sees people hanging out outside, and decides, nah, I'll just sit inside and sulk. Who needs human interaction, right? Instead of, acting like a normal person, she opts to isolate herself and make it awkward. And then, big surprise, she announces she's leaving, but of course, doesn't actually leave until everyone's crowding around her like she's some sort of tragic victim, begging her to stay. Subtle, right? Just a little look at me moment. Classic Sutton. Then, in the latest episode, she has to point out to Dorit that she's drinking water, just to stir the pot and start an argument. Seriously, what's her deal? She really has nothing better to do, does she? She's been pulling this stunt forever. Remember her antics in Las Vegas at the strip club? Same vibe. Hey, look at me. I'm the center of attention. And don't even get me started on the producers trying to make it look like Sutton walked into an empty house. Really? Because the previous scene shows people, guests, staff, all kinds of folks, moving around. But in typical reality TV magic, production probably filmed Sutton sitting there alone for a few minutes, and then just cut everything else out to make it look like she was left to wallow in isolation. Super believable, right? Now, Rinna used to have it down. She'd stroll in first, grab a drink, chat with the waitstaff, and just mingle like a normal human being. That's how it's done. If Sutton knew she wasn't vibing with Dorit, she could have shown up fashionably late, maybe brought J-Till with her, or better yet, just skipped it altogether. Look, Sutton's an adult, but she came in with all the wrong energy, and we all felt it. And to be clear, stop trying to apply normal people logic to these shows. It wasn't really a party, it was a work event. Everyone is obligated to attend each other's events. Sutton stormed out, but she wasn't leaving because she was done with the drama. Nah, production wouldn't let her leave if it's a full filming day. And let's not forget, they're the ones in charge of the transportation, too. So yeah, there's that. Oh, the hilarity of hearing people bring up Kyle's connections. It's honestly too good. They love to act like she built the agency from the ground up with her own powerful network. Really? Let's break that down. Where exactly did those connections come from? Oh, right, Kathy's husband. We're not going to pretend Kyle had all these real estate links and was some sort of mogul in the industry, because she wasn't. Like it or not, a lot of these women's wealth is courtesy of their husbands, and for Kyle, well, it's thanks to her sister's husband. Now, let's be real, Kyle definitely played a significant role in the agency's success. Let's not forget, there wouldn't even be an agency without Kyle being Kathy's sister in the first place. And, of course, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills gave the whole thing a massive spotlight. That little show, yeah, it's probably the biggest reason the agency got so much attention. Then there's Sutton. Oh, Sutton, she married well, and when her husband left her, he made sure to give her enough money to, keep her quiet. Not saying she doesn't deserve it, but let's not kid ourselves. Comparing her situation to Kyle's is just absurd. Also, if you didn't catch it, Mauricio and PK were recently on Bravo's Hot Mic podcast talking about their separations. Mauricio gave a nice little nod to Kyle being on RHOBH as a key part of why the agency became so successful. Can't remember the exact quote, but it's from the December 24th, 2024 episode, if you're interested in listening. Jennifer Tilly's Tater Brunch, a second watch review. So, I rewatched the latest episode and I've come to a very clear conclusion. Sutton is the real instigator here. It's like she's decided Dorit is the perfect target this season, especially after the whole money comment. I get it, Sutton's evolved over the course of the show. With Crystal, the conflict was awkward and race-related, but Sutton was new and didn't want to rock the boat too much. That situation trapped her. She either had to face the heat or risk getting fired and ruining her reputation. But now, with Dorit, she's got a new target, someone she thinks she can take on easily, and wow, was she wrong. Sutton picked a fight with a Dorit who was ready for battle. Not just ready, but primed and sharp. This isn't the Dorit trying to please everyone anymore. She's done with that. This Dorit is post-therapy, quick to snap back, and sharper than ever. Sutton might think she's more confident now that she's been on the show a while, but confidence doesn't always equal street smarts. She really misjudged this one. It's obvious to me, though maybe not everyone, that Sutton's the bully in this situation. She clearly wanted to start something with Dorit, but she overplayed her hand. Now she just looks like the villain. It's not just a petty feud. You can literally see the hatred in Sutton's eyes when she looks at Dorit. She doesn't just dislike her, she despises her, and it's almost a little embarrassing to watch. Sutton's out here stirring the pot, waiting for a big moment to snap, and I'm just sitting here waiting for her to finally crack and spill all the tea. And that wallet comment. Wow, talk about a low blow. It was a desperate attempt to hurt Dorit, but honestly, it just made Sutton look insecure. She's got all the money and the assets, but clearly none of the confidence to go with it. Her entire identity seems wrapped up in her divorce settlement and her wealth, and it's getting really embarrassing at this point. Then there's Jennifer Tilly. I love her, don't get me wrong, but she's kind of a snooze on the show. She's definitely fun and lighthearted, but when you peel back the layers, she's still all about money and status, just in a different way than Sutton. She hasn't really given us much to go on. She tends to drop these bombshells but then clams up, and we never get to hear the rest. I'm interested, but she doesn't let us in enough to really care. And let's be real, the fight was probably the most exciting thing to happen, and when it ended, so did the party. Pretty telling, right? I'm not a hater of Sutton, but let's be real, I don't root for her anymore either. I actually did at the beginning, but this episode just confirmed that she hasn't evolved into the cool, laid-back housewife we were hoping for. I mean, I was ready for Sutton to come through with her new house, business, and maybe a few wild nights out. I wanted her to be the fun, quirky housewife we could all root for. But instead, her money comment was gross, and now I'm dying to know what's really going on behind the scenes with her. Let's see how this unfolds. J. Tilly's comment, Dolce & Gabbana is like family to us, really threw me off. Honestly, I just lost all respect for her. If those people are family to you, then your family dynamic needs some serious revaluation. Sure, they make beautiful clothes, but let's be real. These people have zero standards. If I were rolling in that kind of cash, there's no way I'd be buying from people who have been exposed for their racist and homophobic views. You have every option under the sun, with thousands of designers to choose from. Yet, here we are. And this was all in the same conversation where Sutton casually mentions that I need to find a billionaire. Like, really? These women are downright gross. It's even more ridiculous because JT claims she's half Chinese, and yet Dolce & Gabbana were caught making vile, racist remarks about Asians, specifically Chinese customers. The backlash was so bad that China officially boycotted them. But sure, let's ignore that, right? Not that I expect these housewives to actually stand for anything, but it's still funny to watch them pretend like they care about anything other than themselves. And here's the cherry on top. Remember when Kourtney Kardashian used to say she was all about being above the drama? Yeah, until Dolce & Gabbana turned her Italian villa wedding into a whole collaboration with her sister. I swear, those two men are the real-life inspiration for the gay characters in White Lotus Season 2. Trust me, I can feel it in my bones. Dorit's getting exactly the karma she deserves for ganging up on LVP. At this point, no one even really likes her, they just tolerate her, and her only real friend is Boz. When LVP brought her into the group, she cozied up to Lisa Rinna and Kyle, who were both gunning for LVP exit. Lisa Rinna didn't even care for her much, and Kyle, well, we all know she doesn't like Dorit either. If LVP were still on the show, she'd be the one defending Dorit, backing her up, but nope. Instead, Dorit chose to get in with Rinna and Kyle, losing a true ally in the process. Now, everyone in the group can't stand her. If Boz ever turned on her, she'd have absolutely no one left. As for her financial troubles, let's just say her downfall and public acknowledgement of it have been a long time coming. Sorry, Dorit, but you're not iconic, you're just annoying. And let's not forget how she completely botched Puppagate and